He has captured the hearts and minds of audiences across the country, and I'm sure he will do the same with you today. His impactful words resonate with tens of millions of people in multiple countries worldwide. In addition to his speaking prowess, Fortune is a marketing and branding specialist, serving as the founder and managing director of Blue Fortune Communications, a full-service marketing and branding agency. He brings a wealth of experience and expertise in helping businesses and individuals enhance their brand identity and marketing strategies. So let's give him a round of applause this morning as he will present the keynote address, which is setting the scene and objectives of the summit. You can do better than that, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. The vision is free, the calling is personal, but the obedience will cost you something. You can't be great without paying the price. Once again, good morning. Good morning. I am Fortune Nkwanyana. Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. I am selling this 100 Rand for 50 Rand. I am selling this 100 Rand for 50 Rand. If you've got the 50 Rand, come get it. I am selling this 100 Rand for 50 Rand. Going once, going twice, sold to the gentleman in the front. This is just how life is. It is those who are willing to take action when opportunities present themselves. I can tell you right now, many of you have the 50 Rand, but sometimes opportunities are too good to be real. And just now, you've just realized, when you get that promotion, you're like, nah, not me. There's better people than me. I'm going to speak on a topic that is very interesting today. I'm going to speak on a topic that says, release your brilliance. Release your brilliance. I want you to write down where you are 3 friends of yours, the people that you call your friends. Write their names down on the piece of paper that you have in front of you. 3 of your best friends, the people that you call friends. I'm talking about the person that you call at 3 a.m. and they pick up the call. I'm talking about the people that when the books of the organization don't balance, you tell them, hey, I think this one, he did something. I'm talking about the people that believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. How many of you made it to number 3? Did you make it to 3 friends? The reality is, we live in a world where the people that we can trust are very few. The people who believe in us are very few. And I'm going to say this statement. Be very careful who you share your vision with. Because not everybody that is next to you or close to you is for you. Not everybody that is next to you believes in you. I make an example about friendship because majority of the people, when we have ideas, even in our organizations where we represent ourselves, the best people that we share it with them before we share it with our superiors is our friends. You'll be like, oh my God, yes, I just thought of the best way we can get the money. Before it even goes to the big boss, the friend already knows it. So with that being said, I like what our MC said, give a high five to the person sitting next to you. Give them a high five. All right, clap your hands if you like the person sitting next to you. Okay, clap your hands if you don't like the person sitting next to you. All right. Release your brilliance. I am born and bred in a small town in the north of where we are. It's called KwaDukuza. In this small town, there's quite a lot of amazing things and people that come from there. You want to name a few: the great Ilembe, King Shaka Zulu comes from there. The great Chief Albert Lutuli comes from there. In fact, he's my neighbor. You see, we are neighbors. So excellence moves in me. In the small town, there are ladies, when I was growing up, that taught me something about brilliance and excellence. By saying that, I want to bring you to a point that what you know about excellence is not what it is. Excellence is not this esoterical thing that only a few can achieve in our societies. It's not only for about Elon Musk. It's not only for the great. Excellence is honestly what you repeatedly do every day. It's just an act of how can I do better than I was yesterday. The question is, are you innovating in the space you are in? When I say you're innovating, leaders, I want you to think about this. We all know the story of Vodacom, the guy that created the Please Call Me, right? Was he working in an organization? He was working at Vodacom, right? But he created an innovative solution that made Vodacom millions. The question is, what innovation are you creating for your organization? When you are gone, what are we going to say? Who was here? Are we just going to forget about you? Are you releasing your brilliance where you are? You can't tell me that an old lady who's just selling tomatoes is doing better than you. The question is what you have to ask yourself as you are in the summit today. How can I go back and do better? How can I go back and do more? How can my organization become important because of me? And you have to understand this, leaders. You have to have the DNA of excellence. The DNA of excellence is not left for a few. The DNA of excellence is in each and every one of us here today. It's just that some of us, we choose not to unleash it. We're quick to go for lunch. We're quick to go off work. We go to work to get off work. Tell me if I'm lying. In the morning, you're like, oh my God. Yo, when is it going to be 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Oh my God. And then you begin to, that very same attitude that you start the day with, it begins to be a part of your entire day. Because what you want is just to get out of here. But do you remember CV? Do you remember the day when your CV was not being accepted? Do you remember the day when the job mattered so much that you wished, if I could just get the job? My question is, what happened? Why did you get so used to it to a point that you've forgotten how important it is? You've forgotten the DNA of excellence, wanting to do better for your people. Where is the innovation? Where is your participation? When last did you even come up with a solution, even to solve the smallest of problems inside the office? How did we reach a point where we are so used to the jobs that we do that we don't care how much it matters to us? The DNA of excellence has to weave between our ears, which is our brains. You have to do everything that you do. Do it with excellence. Do it to be the best. And I'll tell you one thing today. It's one analogy that I love to always use. Can somebody name for me 5 tennis players? Tennis. Me, I only know Serena Williams. I don't know about you. Who else? Name 5. Rafael Nadal and who? Djokovic? Who? Someone said Cristiano Ronaldo. Come on now. Aye. Who else? Here's my point here. Do you know why you remembered the names that you remembered? It's because they committed to excellence. In your own office, if I had to say, let's count the number of people who are excellent, will your name be mentioned? Will your name be amongst those who we say they are excellent at what they do? And please make sure that your name gets on that list. Please make sure that next time we talk about the best employee, your name is on that list. Because we can't only be mentioning your name when we're talking about the people who leave the office early. Your name is only mentioned, excuse me, who lives early here? Smart, that's one, always. So it's very important that we understand that we have to possess and embody the DNA of excellence within us in everything we do. And I want to say this again. Excellence is about how can I do better than what I did yesterday. That is what it's about. Don't feel bad about trying to be just the best, but be better than what you were yesterday. My clicker is not moving. Please move to the next slide. It is important that we understand in all that we do, innovation is important. Here's the reality. We can count the number of days now. The robotics are coming for your job. We now have systems and robotics that are coming for your job. But here's something that's important. You have to understand the power of consistency. I love the KZN leader of Sikfaro when he mentions that they've received clean audits over a period of time. It reminds me of the Springboks. I mean, there's very few teams who can say, we've won the Rugby World Cup twice in a row. And it makes us so happy that as South Africans we can say, it's our thing, man, you know. It's RSA DNA. It's our thing, we win. Let's clap our hands for the Springboks. Now here's the thing. My question is, as the chairperson was saying very clearly, the question is, can we make it a habit that clean audits are just a normal thing for us? Can we make it a habit that success is a normal thing for us? Can we make it a habit that doing well is a normal thing for us? Can we make it a habit that we as employees, we come up with solutions. We come up with brilliant ideas. We come up with amazing ideas. Let's make it normal to be great. Let's not just think about being great as for just a few amongst us. Let's make it normal. The consistency in our organization must always be there. Don't be good on Tuesday only. Be good on Thursday as well. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Thursday. Every day. Make it normal to be great. It begins with the consistency of every day, making sure that you do better. And I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a shift. For far too long, we've been okay with being average. We've been okay with just going by and making it through the day. We've been okay with getting through the day and making sure that we receive our salaries at the end of the month. We've been okay with all of those things. But I want to say to you, it's time for a shift. You've got to shift to brilliance. You've got to shift to excellence. You've got to shift to being a better version of yourself. I always say this, if you want to be great, you can never be great without the commitment to personal development. The question is, when last you actually picked up a book to improve your own capacity? Even in your own organization, in the role that you are employed in, when last did you read a book about how to be the best secretary, how to be the best revenue collector, how to be the best in what you do? When last? We can't just be average about all of these things. These things matter. They are important. We have to understand that each and every day we get into that office, it's a calling. That's why I started by saying the vision is free. The calling is personal. But to receive that calling by both hands and say, I'm going to go all in, it's going to cost you a price. You can't be great without paying the price. You have to give the hours. And the hours are what produces excellence. The hours are what produces the promotion. The hours and commitment to becoming better is what gives you the right to even say, I want to be promoted. And if you are not giving the hours, you have no right to even think about the promotion. It's time for a shift. In the early 80s, there was a doctor in the United States who used to do a study. In this study, what he used to do is he paid attention to, there was a group of doctors who used to give birth, who used to help women give birth. And these women would give birth, and in a period of 24 hours, they would pass away. They would die. And it went up to the big numbers, even to hundreds of these women. And this doctor did the study. In this study, he asked them, what is the cause of this? Why are these women dying after giving birth? And he gave them the simplest of answers. He says it's because these doctors who are helping these women give birth, they're the same doctors who go to the morgue and do the analysis of these bodies. And when they come back to give birth, they don't wash their hands. They thought he was crazy. It went on for years until the senator actually said, crazy enough, people are dying because these doctors are not washing their hands. And in our own organizations, there's some of the things that we overlook and we don't report and we think it's okay. It's those things that are causing the problem. And I want to say to you, don't forget, what you are doing is a calling. What you are doing is God's trust to you. What you do is South Africa's trust to you. Remember this, the position you hold is entrusted by the public of South Africa. And we say we trust you. I remember in the army, I once actually had an opportunity to go and speak at the army. I was very afraid. You must know, there's guns everywhere. You must be careful. You make a mistake, it might just come to you. So then, one of the generals, he walks in, he comes in and he actually picks up a glass and he pours himself some water. While he was trying to pour some water, one of the other guys came in quickly and said, no, General, you can't be pouring yourself some water. We've got water saved up for you. You are a VIP here. Can we take you into a special room? We'll give you all the things that you want. You are a special person. And humble enough, the general says, okay, I will go. And he went there, he got the special treatment, and then he retired. When he retired, he was invited to a similar conference. When he came to the conference, no one was giving him the special treatment. He had to take the cup that we buy from the garage, the plastic cup, styrofoam cup, and drink from there. And he said something very powerful. He says, the treatment that I was receiving was not for me. It was for the position that I hold. And I'm telling you even today, you can receive the best of treatment. People can worship you, worship the ground that you walk on. But I'm here to remind you, that's not for you. It's for the position that you hold. And the minute you're out of that position, you'll realize how hard it is. And it's important, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm going to close, there was a very exciting thing. I remember I was one of the few people who had the privilege of meeting the the greatest democratic leader to ever live, Ubaba Nelson Mandela. When we met him, he shared a story that was very powerful to us, which still resonates with me. This is a story of leadership. I believe all of you here are leaders. He says he used to go to the meeting with his father, with all the other community leaders. And when he was there, he would sit at the back, even though when he agreed with what the other guys were saying, he would not say anything. Even when he would agree with what the other guys were saying, he would keep his mouth shut. He would not disagree or agree. And there's a lesson that he says there. He says, if you're going to be a great leader, you need to learn how to be the last to speak. You need to learn to eat last. Leaders eat last. Not this thing of wanting to be the first. You need to eat last. And then before I sit down, I want to share one of my experiences. I had the opportunity to travel abroad recently. While I was in the plane, something very exciting happened. I was sitting next to a very nice young man. We were sitting on business class, and it was quite an exciting ride. As the plane took off, everybody was excited. As the plane went on, the captain went on, doo-doo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are flying in Boeing 3579. Please make sure that you are comfortable and nice. You fasten your seat belts. You know how the captain, I was like, yeah, our captain. And it goes on, as it goes, it was quite a long flight. Midway the flight, it starts having turbulences. And everybody who was comfortable, everything started shaking. But I paid attention to the flight attendants, eh? Have you ever paid attention to the flight attendants? No matter how crazy it gets in the plane, they just don't go. They're not shaking. They're like, eh. Only the legs shake. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's okay. Don't worry, we'll just be fine. Excuse me, we are dying here. But in all of that moment, I paid attention to one little thing. While everybody was screaming and crying, the boy that was sitting next to me, he was laughing. I'm like, there must be something crazy here. And then it got a little bit worse. It got so worse that the turbulences, the plane was shaking. And the top compartments started opening and bags started falling out. Everybody was screaming. There was a lady who said, oh, Nkosi yami, ngane zami. Oh my God, my children. I was like, yeah, me and you, same WhatsApp group, we're crying. Everybody is crying. Everybody is complaining. Except for this young boy. He's just laughing away. And then there was this one Indian guy. Please don't say I'm teasing or I'm going on the Indian. It was an Indian guy. He said, hey, young man, you see when the plane lands, I'm going to deal with you, huh? Why are you laughing when all of us are crying? I was like, I'm from the township, man. Once a fight is there, I'm going there. Everybody's crying. The plane is going on crazy turbulences. But the only thing I was looking forward to was what that Indian guy is going to do to this young man. This young man continued laughing while everyone was crying. I said, this kid must be crazy. I even wanted to give him a clap. But the crazy thing is, everyone was screaming, everyone was going crazy. This young boy was so chilled and relaxed. This Indian guy continued to insist that when we land, we're going to deal with you. And I wanted to see what he was going to do. Thank God we landed. And when we landed gracefully, I let everybody go. Hey, it's okay. I was waiting for the Indian guy to deal with the boy. And everybody went out. And then this Indian guy walks to the young man. He asked the young man, why are you so disrespectful? That while everyone is crying and screaming for their lives, you are laughing away like nobody's business. The answer that young boy gave that Indian guy changed my life. The young boy said, when I was 5, my father used to pick me up and throw me in the air and catch me. I went on when I was 10 years old again. He used to pick me up and throw me even higher. I trusted him. And he says, the reason why, while all of you were screaming and complaining about possibility of dying, the reason why I was laughing is because my father is the captain of this plane. And I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, today, whether you believe in a higher power or you don't believe in a higher power, whether you believe in God or whoever you believe in, the job that you have, the community has given you so much power that we believe in you as we believe in the pilots that fly us every day. We believe in you that you're going to do the best that you do. We believe in you that you are the best at what you do. We believe in you that you are going to make sure that you're coming up with solutions that are going to transform our lives. We believe in you to come up with solutions and ideas. We believe in you so much that we are willing to give up everything that we have just to trust in you. And I'm here just to remind you, you need to release your brilliance, because it's your brilliance that makes us believe in you. It's your brilliance that makes us want to even believe more in you. It's the things that you have inside. Always remember the day you sent that CV. Always remember the day you prayed to God for that job. Always remember when you're doing it and you walk in every day in that office, you're not walking in to walk out, you're walking in to solve problems, you're walking in to create solutions, you're walking in to create practical solutions for our communities. It's important that you understand this is not a job, this is a calling, and the calling requires you to pay the price. If you're willing to pay the price, go and resign today. Everybody here today, you've got to ask yourself, what price am I willing to pay? How am I going to improve my situation? How am I going to improve my organizations? And remember this, and I say it again, the vision is free. The calling is personal. But if you're going to be great at what you do, you've got to pay the price. And I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to release your brilliance. Thank you.